Happy Monday, family. Welcome to our morning scripture reading. This morning we're going to be reading Genesis chapter 32, verses 13 through 21. For reference, I'm reading from the New Living Translation. Remember, we're reading about Jacob getting ready to go back, having gone back from Laban's household. And now he has with him Rachel and Leah and all of his household servants, flocks, and they are heading back. And they are approaching the territory of his brother Esau. Things didn't end so well between them. And Jacob cried out to the Lord and asked for favor, essentially, from the Lord. So that's where we left off. So let's read today, Genesis 32, 13 to 21. Jacob stayed where he was for the night. Then he selected these gifts from his possessions to present to his brother Esau: 200 female goats, 20 male goats, 200 ewes, 20 rams, 30 female camels and their young, 40 cows, 10 bulls, 20 female donkeys, and 10 male donkeys. He divided these animals into herds and assigned each to different servants. Then he told his servants, "Go ahead of me with the animals, but keep some distance between the herds." He gave these instructions to the men leading the first group. "When my brother Esau meets you, he will ask, 'Whose servants are you? Where are you going? Who owns these animals?' You must reply, 'They belong to your servant Jacob, but they are a gift for his master, Esau. Look, he is coming right behind us.'" Jacob gave the same instructions to the second and third herdsmen and to all who followed behind the herds. "You must say the same thing to Esau when you meet him, and be sure to say, 'Look, your servant Jacob is right behind us.'" Jacob thought, "I will try to appease him by sending gifts ahead of me. When I see him in person, perhaps he will be friendly to me." So the gifts were sent on ahead, while Jacob himself spent that night in the camp. We don't really have insight here as to whether or not Jacob specifically asked God if he was to send gifts ahead of him. We do know that Jacob prayed to God. We do know that he cried out to him, and remember, he said, "Oh God of my father Abraham and God of my grandfather Abraham and God of my father Isaac. Oh Lord, you told me, return to your own land." So he's crying out to the Lord. So we know that he is communing with his Father. And this is what God asks us to do. Now, we don't have record here from the previous scriptures that we read that God told him to appease Esau with these gifts of animals being sent out ahead of him. And perhaps he didn't explicitly tell him, this is what Jacob has decided to do, to send gifts. And giving gifts is a good thing, right? Now, certainly we can't bribe people and have wrong motives, but Jacob is being a peacemaker here. Blessed are the peacemakers, right? That's what Jacob is being. He's being a peacemaker. So he is extending the proverbial olive branch here to Esau ahead of time. And he's thinking in his mind, this is a good idea to do this. Jacob could have easily thought otherwise and said, "I don't care. This ended the way it was supposed to end, and he just needs to get over it." He could have done that, but he didn't. And instead, he chose to be a peacemaker. He chose to humble himself. That's what's required for God's people to bring peace with them and to make peace, is to be humble and being willing to be lower than others. I just want to encourage you today. Is there a relationship that the Lord is bringing to mind in which he is calling you to be lower, to make yourself lower for his sake, so that you can be the peacemaker He has called you to be.